Hello, everybody. Melissa here, and welcome. I am going to do my June art chat, which is where I show all of the art that I made during the month of June and tell you about it. So, I'm gonna, as I do, move all of the many sketchbooks that I've worked in this month out of the way and start with this little guy. So, Charlotta Hamilton, aka Blue Shine Art, hosts a monthly theme over on her Substack. And the theme for June was trees. I started out with the intention of following along for the entire month, but you'll see I have some catching up to do. My intention was to fill this little homemade sketchbook that I made. It has Fabriano watercolor paper in it. This one I did, I don't know, last year. And I wanted to use a different watercolor palette for each of the reference photos. And so the ones that I have in here, I have used a different watercolor palette for each of the reference photos. And I was doing one per day, so June 1st. And I do have a list of whose trees they are. So this one was a tree from Heike, from Lubeck, and I used the Viviva Spring watercolor palette. It is a very lovely palette. It comes in a cork, tray, and it's beautiful. This one was from Laura, and it is Florida Palms at Sunset, and I used my little Roman Schmal watercolor palette that has a mixture of Daniel Smith watercolor sticks and Holbein watercolors. On June 3rd, this is from Scott to San Antonio River at Brackenridge Park. I can barely read my writing, and it is, granulating watercolors that I have in a Neocolor palette. Like a Neocolor tin that I use as a palette. Anyway, it'd probably make more sense if I showed you the palettes, but that's a whole lot of stuff to get out. June 4th is a photo from Nick, a Bonnie Doon scar tree from Australia. And for this one, I used my, it says 6-color Muji palette. What is a 6-color Muji palette? I don't know. Could be my 3 favorite watercolors. But a 6-color Muji palette, I don't know what that is. I should be more specific to myself. For the 5th of June, which I did on June 7th, this is from Esther, and it's from Ouessant in France, and I used Kiritaki Gonzai Tombis, some of my favorite colors from there. This one, I'll tell you right now, is Shinhan Pass watercolor, just using 2 pink, which is, I think it's the 870. There you can kind of see how bright it is. No, I forget it's just called Pink from Shinhan Pass, and then the blue is Compose Blue, and then the purple is a mixture of the 2. Very fun. And this was my photo, and this is from Toronto Island, walking onto Hanlan's Beach. June 7th, Susan's picture of a park on her street, and I used Japanesque watercolors. They're like Gonzai Tombi. They have like a sheen to them when they get thick, and this is a super muted palette, and lovely. This one is from C. It's birch trees, and I used the Holbein granulating watercolors. I'm just going through this so that I can put this sketchbook away instead of having to pull it out for the first few days. This one is Silke's olive trees, and I used my little tiny wooden Holbein watercolor palette filled with Holbein watercolors. My original Holbein colors that I got on my first trip to Japan. And then this is another Susan, Ancient Redwoods in Northern Carolina, and I used my Roman Schmal Aquarius landscape set. And this one was quite tricky, the perspective looking up through the trees. And that's as far as I got. So that was June 10th. So I made it 10 days in June, and I still think I want to fill this up, but maybe Char's theme for July is water. So maybe I should do some water in here and continue on using all of the watercolor palettes that I have, because I still have not exhausted my palettes. But fun little sketchbook. And I do think, I know I've had some requests on showing how I make my sketchbooks, because I don't sew them. I just use glue or Mod Podge to bind the edges, and then tape and whatever. So I think I'm going to do a little filming of how I do it. I'm not going to call it a tutorial because I don't feel like I'm a very good teacher. But I'll show how I do it. Steph gave me a big, not a block, but like a pad of pastel paper, and the paper is different colors. So I think I'm going to make a couple of sketchbooks out of that. So I'll record myself doing that at some point in time when I get around to it. So if you're curious, stay tuned. All right, let me move on. So this is a sketchbook. This is a Jackson's sketchbook. It's like 89 cents on the Jackson's website, and I think I bought 4 or 5 of them at the time. I gave a couple to my nieces, and I have one in reserve, or no, I have one that I used for junk journal. I'm using for a junk journal, which I haven't done since they were here and I started. But every time I order something, I've ordered one other thing from Jackson's since I got these. They're not in stock, but next time I see them and I'm ordering something, and if they have them, I'm going to order like 20 of them. The paper is really good. The size is really nice. Like, you could just throw it in your bag and not worry about it, or just like play and not feel precious. But 89 cents for this sketchbook. Canadian. No brainer. Anyway, June 3rd, I used Neo Pastels to draw this little, I'll show you, this little Lego-like flower that I got from Miniso. And it just sits in this really cute vase that I got at IKEA. And so my plan was to always have fresh flowers in the house, but I haven't in a while, I think since my birthday. But that's just a fun thing to draw sometimes. And I only did one this month, so I need to get back into the flower game. On the 4th was Art Hang Party. And we went to Iceland with Melly Dolman. So the first Thursday of every month at Art Hang Party, first of all, Art Hang Party is a weekly live hour-ish long art making session full of fast-paced drawing and a lot of fun that happens right here on my channel on YouTube every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Every week is a different theme, and every week is a very fun time. So if you don't join us for Art Hang Party, I highly recommend that you check it out. We're on number 186 coming up this week, and this week's theme is water. So if you're watching this shortly after it's put out, before July the 9th, the theme will be water. Otherwise, it'll be something different. But yeah, 186 sessions of Art Hang Party. It's crazy. The first Thursday of every month at Art Hang Party, we travel somewhere with an Art Hang Party friend. So in June, we went to Iceland with Melly. In July, we went to Somerset with Mark, but I'll show you that next month. We went to New York with Tyler. We went to Chicago with Michelle. And for these, what's this one? Tokyo. We went to Tokyo with me. I'm going back to Tokyo, by the way. We booked for 2027. We're going back in February. For these, for our travel sessions, I've been using Ugly books. My first Ugly book had violently yellow paper. This one has a very nice teal color, and I have a couple more in reserve, so I'll continue using the Ugly books. But if you're interested in checking out Ugly books, I do have a 10% off affiliate code that's always linked here in the description, or not always linked, but going forward is linked in the description. So not sponsored, but you can get yourself a little bit of a discount if you're interested. They are very fun. They have one, I saw they put one out that's blue with orange paper in honor of the New York Knicks winning the NBA championship. So I think that's a pretty fun one. I do have a book with orange paper waiting for next time, so that'll be fun. On the 5th of June, I went actually, you and I went on a little art date to Coronation Park. So if you want to see me scribble this, you can check out that video on my channel. I used Neopastels, and then I used Faber-Castell watercolor markers, just as markers, and then I got eaten by bugs and went home. That was nice. That was nice hanging out with you all there. Sticker by Debbie Draws Funny. Sticker by Made by Reb. Sketchbook by Muji. On the 9th of June, I almost said September, June, I did a replay of a drawing session with Helen C. Stark. She runs the Time Foragers Club over on Substack, and it's just a lovely community. She does a lot of illustrated journaling, which is always super inspiring. And she was talking about an upcoming retreat that she has in France. So the theme was France. I didn't finish the whole thing because my hand was not into it, but it was nice. On the 10th, I had a little art date with Stephanie Lucas, where I swatched Woomer color pencils. Woomer was kind enough to send me a set of 72 of their color pencils, and I swatched this page, all 72 pencils, while sitting on the beach chatting with Steph. So I have a video of that up on my channel too if you haven't seen it. They're very, very nice pencils. Like, I would say on par, if not even a little bit creamier than Prismacolor Premier Color pencils. So I think that is saying a lot. And the color payoff, like, I wasn't pressing very hard, and these are like super saturated. They are a little bit waxy, you can see. So if you're like have a light touch, I can't help you because I don't have a light touch with color pencils. But I'm sure that they would blend quite nicely. And if you would like a discount, I think it's 10% as well. I don't know if it's still active actually, but I'll put the link below in hopes that it is if you would like to check them out. Yeah, and then I also did this little postcard using color pencils on, I bought a set of like a little tin. Let me show you. A nice little tin of watercolor postcards. They're from Potentate. 100% cotton watercolor postcards. And it came in this nice little tin. And yeah, there's 24 of them. And I think it was like $12. So from Midoko, the art and crafts and fun store on Bloor, Bathurst, if anybody is interested in Toronto. They're really nice. They're really nice. I also did this on the beach, the ladies sitting in front of us. Very fun. And my cat pearl that I did a while back using Neocolor 2s. I've really come to enjoy decorating the front covers of my sketchbooks, even though that was the back cover, but I started the sketchbook upside down. Ray and I went for a walk and had a little sit by the music garden. The ducks and geese were out of the water, kind of grooming themselves, having a chill. And it was very, very cute. So I said, let's sit there so I can have a little bit of a draw. Until a dad with a toddler came up and was like enticing his kid to go close to the ducks, and then the mom of the toddler came over and was like, I wonder if I fed them my egg salad sandwich, what they would do. And then the kid started squealing, and it was a whole thing, and all the geese woke up and started like running towards them. So I was like, we're getting out of here. So we went and sat back a little ways from the edge of the water on some Muskoka chairs, and I drew this little scene. I had did I show you this pencil yet? I don't know where it is. It's the Kaweco Sport pencil that has a 3.2 millimeter lead inside of it. It's beautiful and it's really fun to use. And then I also used a hot pink Pentel brush pen for these. So again, I know sometimes when I block the like direct light, you can kind of see how bright it is. Yeah, fun. And that was July 1st, so irrelevant to this conversation. And the 15th, a very uninspired drawing from Little Norway Park. I actually don't know that Little Norway Park. I think that's from the Music Garden, looking across the water. But I said Little Norway Park, so who knows? Oh, on the 13th of June, again, I was going to say October, was another art hang party, and we drew our first crushes. So I'll show you what I did. I cut watercolor paper up into little cards, and then I made trading cards of favorite crushes. I think they just turned out so cute. I used that pencil again, I think. Either that or a Blackwing pencil. And then the two Shinhan Pass watercolors, pink and compost blue. And I just think these are so fun. I have sent some out to friends. I have some Post-it notes with names on them to send out to some people at some point in the future when I get around to it. I just think that they were really cute. And that session was a lot of fun. There's a lot of good chats about first crushes and who's cute and, that kind of thing. It was a really, really fun, really, really fun art hang party. Before I show you that, another art hang party that we did on June 18th was Play with Color. And so we didn't have any references for that one. We only had color palettes pop up on the screen, and then we just played, layered. Everybody did something completely different. Some found their own references. Actually, this goes this way. Not that it matters, but I remember this was on the side. It was incredible. So a really fun session. I just went crazy on this one sheet of paper, and I actually then use this background in some flyers that I did for a big music event that's happening in Toronto at the end of August, called the Good Beat Weekender. On the Saturday for that, I'm going to be doing some live art with some art friends. So if you're local in Toronto and would like to participate, please let me know. And I will reach out, and then I'll send you some information and see if you want to participate. I think it's going to be a really, really fun day. And I already have a few people willing to draw live with me. So it'll be fun. Anyway, I'll show you the will have shown you the flyers for how I use this as the background to the flyer. And I just think it's really cool that Alicia let me use my artwork on the flyers. So yay. I always want to do that with Ray's flyers, but it never quite the vibe. One day I'm going to do hand-drawn portraits of DJs. This was a replay of an introvert drawing club. I will say was not my favorite session, but I appreciate the playfulness of this. So she had Meg Lewis, who I used to listen to all the time. Meg Lewis is an illustrator and graphic designer, I think. And she led the session by having us blindfold ourselves, and then like she just verbally gave prompts to draw. So this is like a Zoom session of a bachelorette party. And I had to stop because I just wasn't into it. But I appreciate the creativity, the idea of it, you know? Wasn't feeling it at the time. The 22nd of June, I went back to my main muse, my grandma's garden. I've been feeling, I don't know if it comes across, but like, I don't feel like I'm as prolific as I have been in the past when it comes to art. Like, I'm not jonesing to sit down and just pull out my sketchbooks at the end of a workday or after dinner. I'm really happy that it's nice enough to sit outside in the park because I've really been enjoying getting back into like sitting in the park with my sketchbook, even though I need to reteach myself how to like look at a scene. But this photo of my grandma's garden, it's like super blurry, really old. It's like a scan of a photo from probably the 80s, I would imagine, maybe even the 70s. But I love it. And I've drawn it a whole bunch of times. I've done fabric collage of it. Like I just, it's like that comfort thing that you just keep coming back to again and again and again. And so that's what I did on this day because I couldn't think of anything else that I wanted to do. And I used oil pastels. I used a set of classic Sennelier oil pastels. And I haven't really used those because I don't actually love all the colors. Like the greens are just really, really green. So I did a lot of mixing on the page with the pastels. And I think this is just a joy to look at. Like if you look at like that bush there, like look how yummy those colors mixed are, and like here and then these trees there. I don't know. I just love that one. Maybe because it's my grandma's garden, but also because of the fun, yummy, let me just dive in there. Speaking of sitting in the park, I had to get my bike tire fixed. Apparently I wasn't putting enough air in it, and so if you don't put enough air in your bike tire, you can like mess up the inner tube of it. So I messed up the inner tube of it, and they had to replace everything. Anyway, it gave me 30 minutes to go and sit at the music garden and get my sketchbook out and do this really, 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 really rough painting of a willow tree that doesn't look anything like a willow tree. Still fun though. Oh, one thing that happened earlier in the month on the 13th. I bought this book. They called it a notebook. Nota. From Indigo, which is a bookstore. And the paper reminds me so much of what I've seen of caddy fat paper. I've never actually felt or looked at the paper up close, but the ones that have like the rough edges, and it just doesn't say what kind of paper it is unless it says that on there. I don't know. It's made in India, so it might actually be. Anyway, I thought that this would be really nice for watercolor. It came with this cute little raspberry. I think those are raspberries, not strawberries. They have to be strawberries though, because the flower, but they look like raspberries. It was cute. It was really cute. And then this is a Debbie Draws Funny sticker that just matched perfectly with it. And to test out the paper, I just swatched my big watercolor palette on here. So all my Holbeins, Daniel Smith's, Shinhan Pass, and yeah, like the texture is pretty cool. Like it's a little bit textury, kind of linen-y. Like it looks like it's like more linen than anything. So I'm gonna this will be fun just to play with my really big quill brush and just let watercolor be watercolor, And it feels so nice in my hand. Maybe I should take this out for plein air. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. For $22, I'll take it. The 25th of June was another art hang party, and we did animal palettes. So one of the things during the Play with Color week that Jennifer did, she did animals, bears. She did bears with the different color palettes. So it was really fun, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. We were actually supposed to do something different this week, but I couldn't stop thinking about Jennifer's colorful bears. I was like, we need to do animal palettes. So I had references, animal references, and then we pulled up the random color palette generator again and just did each animal in a different color palette. And it was fun. I used the Woomer color pencils for these. 26th was another sit in the park day. We went to Coronation Park, and I took some watercolors and neopastels. So I did on the watercolor postcard again, I did this, which I think turned out pretty nice. I worked really, really slowly on it, trying to remember how I used to paint landscapes, you know? Yeah. And then just using neopastels, a quick scribble. It was actually really cold on this day when we were sitting here, and then thankfully Ray was willing to tough it out. It was nice. Another sit in the park. This one is the park across the street, and I think this is a gouache. I think this is a gouache palette. Yes. Yes, yes. Very messy. And I might as well just finish up in here. So it was Canada Day on July 1st, but this was done on, I did this on the 30th, so just before Canada Day. But yeah, wanted to capture the Canadian flag and the insanely beefy flagpole, which I probably could have fixed because I used gouache for this as well. So this was not gouache. I don't know. What was that pink? It doesn't matter. You don't care. And then I actually just yesterday finished the sketchbook. So cool. I will do a sketchbook tour of this one. This is a pith sketchbook. It was my first pith. I've completed another one from my Japan trip, and I have another one in reserve that I'm going to start right away. And these are stickers from Teresa Barroso, aka Officina Caracolino. This is from an art hang party way, way, way back, and it's fish head pie. Oh, that was such a good session. I'm out of order, but what does this say? Sitting in half sun, half shade at Little Norway Park on Saturday afternoon. And again, I used the Kaweco Sport pencil, which I need to find. Can't lose that thing. And the pink Pentel. And prepped a page to draw on after. So that, oh my gosh, is everything in my sketchbooks and art-wise, but I also made this train for my coworker. He did some illustrations for Pride for Metrolinx. We both work at Metrolinx. And he illustrated Up Express train, a Go train, and a Presto card. And they're really, like, his illustrations are, like, he's a true professional, you know? And I said, I would really love to see, because Metrolinx has a shop where they sell, like, some, you know, merch and stuff like that. I was like, these should be in the shop as stuffies, because they're just so cute and fun. And then he's like, I really want to see the Up. He said he would want the Up train. So I was like, okay. So then I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I can make that happen. I can make a stuffed Up Express Pride train. So I actually started filming the beginning process. So maybe I'll put in some of that here, or at the end. I'll put that at the end. So stick around if you want to see the beginnings of me rambling and trying to figure out how to make this thing. But I figured it out, and I think it looks like really close to his illustration. Like, I don't know how I did it, but I did it, and pretty happy. Like, to know that I can figure that out and make it look like it's supposed to look. And then yeah, I gave it to him the other day, and like, he was just blown away, and it was really cute and really fun, and I'm really happy that I made it. And I would like to, I don't know, it's just fun to play and experiment and try something new. So it was really creatively fulfilling, I think. And if you know me, you probably know that I do a daily self-portrait. I'm not loving doing them right now, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's because it's in a different book, or it's just like this is going on my 3rd year now of doing them, and I'm just kind of burnt out on it. But I'm gonna keep going anyway. Just so you know, I'm feeling less than inspired to be drawing my daily self-portraits. As evidenced by the one that I did on June 1st. I don't need to narrate everything, but that is me and Melly when she was here for Art Hang Party. One more time. Testing.
Testing. Here we are. Testing.
We are testing. I did record the process of painting this one. Yeah, so if you want to see that come to life, and how I paint like value studies like that, you can watch that, and that's using leftover paint. This does not that does not look like me whatsoever. Barbecue at a friend's house. Oh my god, that's me drinking 4 liters of Peg Light. Has anybody had a colonoscopy? Because I wish you luck with the preparations. Things we have to do as we get older. This was based on a button that I have that I got in Japan. That was a not feeling it day. This one what is this? Oil pastels. I scribbled oil pastels on this side, and then I turned it over. And so I had the marker as my original self-portrait here, but then I took a pencil and did another version of myself. And then that picked up the oil pastels from this side. And then I took a picture of myself on this day for this portrait. Fun. Went to a Blue Jays game. Got a free hat. Maybe I should try more other self-portrait photos. Maybe that's a thing. And then that's the 30th. And just a couple of days ago, I got a set of Rosa Gallery gouache paints, which has been pretty fun to play with. I need to play with them more. But I did make a little palette of them so that I can take gouache outside with me. And this was a watercolor set. But yeah, it's so cute and tiny. But I pulled the watercolor out of them and put gouache in there. And it's been a couple of days, but they're still like pretty sticky. So I don't know if they're ever going to fully dry. But they're not they're not going to go anywhere. So I can take these outside now, I think. Yeah, but a cute little palette. It was like $10. The palette was like $10 on Amazon. And the paints were $14.99 plus like $14 shipping, so $30 for little not so little 20 milliliter tubs of paint. So like that's a whole lot of gouache for $30. So it's the Rosa Studio, so I think it's more like the lower level, but they're really nice. They have really good opacity to mix the colors, like mixing them is really nice. So those are the colors out of the tubs, and then these are, I was just playing with what kind of greens and not really purples you can make with them. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have fun playing with these. And again, for all things combined, $30 for all of this paint, and it's like good quality Rosa paint made in Ukraine. Lovely. Very happy with that. And excited to take out my little palette. Oh man, okay. That is everything. All of the art that I made during the month of June. Do I have a favorite? I always like to pick a favorite. If you have a favorite of anything that you saw, I really do like that self-portrait. And I really do like my grandma's garden. You know what? I think, what else have I done? Yeah. I'm gonna give it to my grandma's garden. She's a winner every time. Okay. Oh, or the train. Oh no, it has to be the train. It has to be the train. It's the train. Runner up, and then runner up. Okay. Thank you for watching. I miss hanging out with everybody, so I actually have a couple of sketchbook tours to film. This Pith one. I realized I haven't filmed my second year of self-portraits. I don't know if I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet with how I'm feeling about self-portraits, but I have that one to do, and then I also have another sketchbook that I've finished that I owe a sketchbook tour of. But maybe I'll do this one first since I just finished it. And the other ones can wait. Anyway, irrelevant. I do want to get back into vlogging. I have a couple of like clips here and there, but nothing quite put together yet. So I will capture some more and then share a vlog because I miss vlogging too. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please, if you can, give this a like. Let me know how your month of June was, how your month of July is going, if there's anything fun that you're looking forward to. And let me know too if you are in Toronto and would like to participate in a live art event at a house music party at the end of August. Okay, I will see you very soon. Bye. Hello everybody. I have a video today that I think I want to film. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it all today. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to show it, but I'm going to record the process anyway in hopes that I will be able to show it. I'm going to do a sewing project, and it is going to be a stuffed train to celebrate Pride. One of my colleagues at work illustrated the most fun trains and buses and Presto cards. The Up Express, a Go Transit bus, and a Presto card. Which is why I don't know if I'm allowed to share what I'm gonna make, because I'm making him a 3D stuffed version of the Up Pride train. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show it. But I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna try to capture the process in hopes that I can. I just went to Fabricland and bought some cotton fabric in what I think is a pretty close, pretty solid approximation of the color palette that was used. So I got half a meter of each color, and I think that should be okay. I'm hoping that should be okay, because that's all that I have. And yeah, I don't know how I'm going to translate this into 3D. I have some big sheets of drawing paper, so I'm just kind of sketch it out. I have made a 3D train before out of paper, so I think conceptually the fundamentals of that should be roughly about the same. But I'm gonna try to figure it out, because Tim needs this in real life, I think. He's so good. He's such a good illustrator. Yeah, so good. I do think that the Presto card would be really fun and probably the easiest option of all three. But he said that the train is his favorite, so that just needs to be the one that I do. So I'm gonna start by trying to sketch it out on paper. I don't know how big it's gonna be. I don't know how it's gonna work. I have no idea. But wish me luck. And I hope that I will be able to show you what I do. Okay, let me show you the train drawing so far. Not all of our lotions. Okay. Okay. So the main train side, green, white, green, black. All those will have to be cut out, little separate pieces and stuff. 2 of these, because the train has 2 sides. And then this here will be the roof. This here will be the bottom, and then the front window, and below the window. Although I think this is a little bit too tall, but I'll figure that out when we come to it. So I think I might cut this out first, and then figure out the size for the legs, because I think the legs and arms will depend on how this all works out. So I'm just gonna go for it. We'll see if that's a mistake or not. It's probably gonna end up being pretty large. I wonder if I should make it smaller, but I don't know. I will also have to add seam allowance to everything. Remind me, please. wonder if I should make this smaller. Let me cut it out. I think I should definitely make it shorter. Okay. All right, I hope you don't feel too upside down. I'm gonna tape everything together and see what it looks like, but I feel like my head is chopped off, but that's fine. I think it's too long, like that definitely feels very long, but like too long as in not cute enough. Yeah, it should be stubby. Okay. I know where I'm gonna chop. I'm just thinking if I need to cut another piece of this one, but let's just chop it here. And then I can cut that window into two because they should be more square anyway. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna cut. This size feels much better. Okay, well, it's okay if it's round a little bit because it's gonna be a stuff thing, but I think that feels good. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm feeling really good about this. It's gonna be pretty cute. Okay, let me cut out some fabric, get out my sewing machine, and get to work. I hope I have an old pillow. If not, I need to order some stuffing. Okay, that's probably way too boring for you to watch. So I'm gonna power on. I'm gonna power through. Can you see me there? I'm gonna power through, and I will show you all of my pieces once we're done. Was my battery even, was my microphone even on before? I don't know. So I have a side of the train. Okay. Train side. Now I need to figure out the windows. I think for the door, I'm just going to use some embroidery thread and hand sew the door because it's just a line. I think that'll be pretty cute. Windows, and yeah, I'm gonna attach the top and the bottom and the front. Can figure it out. Keep figuring it out. Okay. That took a while. Maybe an hour, maybe a little bit longer, but look, I have a train. It still needs the back on it, but I'm gonna wait to put that on until I stuff it because I need to add, I should have done this before, but I need to add some purple and the lights, some purple reflection in the lights. But I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks really good. So it's still a little bit big, but I think it would be really fiddly if I would have made it any smaller than this. So happy with the size, actually. Yeah, I do need to hand sew this corner together because I couldn't quite do that on my sewing machine. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here for today. It is a Saturday evening, 8 o'clock now, 8:15, and sewing makes my back hurt. So it's gonna be so cute. Tomorrow I will figure out the rest of it. Make some pants, some rainbow pants. And then that's basically done. Some arms. Cool. Anyway, I like it. It's so cute.